a terrible channel.
That's a good
TeaPot
start.
or
That's a good start. Oh, look at
What are we
this.
talking about today?
I guess, well, we have the rating expert here.
Oh, okay.
The
Yeah,
eternal
me.
Deroir.
I'm actually
Oh.
more an expert than him because he's a European.
Well,
And we
who-
and we
who
and we
do
have
you
playtest
sabotage?
Brazil.
I don't know
Brazil,
anything.
are you the Eternal?
If I knew anything about playtesting, I wouldn't be able to talk about it anyways. So it's not even a question I can answer if I wanted to.
You don't need to answer. Playtest Brazil and Eternal Deroir.
All right.
Here today on Tea Time.
Yep.
that's the names of today. Eternal. Wow. It's actually funny because like nobody ever looks at titles anymore because they've become so redundant. Nobody ever notices it.
Yeah.
I've been running around with it for the past 24 hours or whatever, and like not a single comment. No one notices it. No one sees it.
You know, you're right. It's funny. I noticed somebody running around with like one of the other like Guardian minis. I'm like, oh, they must have killed Male Guardian because they have one of the minis, right? Like I noticed that way before I noticed anybody's title or anything.
Exactly.
You just need a mini Sabbatha, right?
Oh my
I'll
god.
Sure,
show
yeah.
off how
And
good you
you,
are.
You get that
Buy it from the
for
store.
killing the boss, right? Yeah. Anyone who's got the mini
Yeah.
Sabbath there, you're a raid master.
Totally.
Yeah.
master.
That and the freaking glider. Jesus. Whatever.
I love that glider, but god.
What glider?
Glider's
I'm not
awesome.
gonna-
The Soul River glider?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's awesome. Why does it
Super
not
cool.
drop where the Soul River is? Why does it not drop from the raid?
I don't know.
Because then there'd be less chance of me getting the stupid infusion. I want that stupid infusion.
The
So
ghosty-
bad.
The ghosty
Yes,
one.
it's basically the only thing I want from that.
I don't
stupid
know that I
raid.
care about it that much. I don't know. It's cool.
Cool to get.
but
Yeah, it'd be cool to
I
get.
think it's so amazing. It's
I
always
wouldn't-
a taste. Like
After I get
Question
Dark
based.
Harvest, I'm done with the game. I don't have anything else to do.
Is Dark Harvest really that good though?
I have a Twilight, and I'm overriding that for Dark Harvest. There's a reason why. There's a reason why. There's a reason behind it.
Okay.
I'm not gonna spoil it yet.
Okay.
There's a very good reason.
But there is
tension.
Yeah.
So I should go get Dark Harvest right now?
No, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It's just
Lord it over
something that only matters to me.
Oh, okay. Well,
But you'll see why in a
It's
couple
actually-
of days.
You're gonna
Speaking
make
of
a
those,
character
like-
that looks like something.
it's not really Brazil's style.
It just
Everything
goes
has bunny
cool.
ears anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't have bunny ears. It has the teacher glasses
What?
Oh, excuse me.
and the
that's right.
profane armor. It's perfect.
Right, we've overwritten the bunny ears for glasses. I forgot.
Yeah.
It's funny, like having gone through all of those weapon collections, like the Elite Specialization collections. The Necro one is the most annoying one because you have to wait for the events. What the fuck is up with those
I
events?
got
What the hell?
really lucky with that because I was like, I guess I'll just go sit around and wait for the stuff. It won't be a big deal. So I went to Kessex Hills and I sat around looking at Aria Venom for like a couple of minutes and I thought, nothing's happening. I'm just going to go like wait over in the cave for Drathor the Drill to spawn. So I go over there and he's just up. Like he's just there. I was like, what the fuck? Okay, I'll kill him. And so I killed him and I got the thing from it for the collection. I was like, I guess I'll go wait in Metrica Province now for Ula's lab to spawn, like however long that'll take. So I went to Metrica Province. I went to the waypoint. I ran there and I was like, the door's open. That's weird. And I get in there and there are people literally like killing Ula and then the vendor just spawns. And I was like, this is
Perfect.
amazing. This is fucking awesome. I don't have to do anything. And so I just bought the thing immediately. That saved me like probably 5 hours of work. Or just sitting
Oh,
around.
you mean of waiting to have fun?
Yeah, exactly.
I really haven't even gone out of my way to do most of them just because I don't know. I've lost my will, I guess.
Yeah.
Lost
For a
your
lot of that
will.
stuff.
Touch your will.
Yeah, I mean, I used to go out of my way to get all that, all those achievements and stuff. I don't know what it is with Heart of Thorns. I just don't really care.
Is
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's the events in the
explain
new-
it. I think. Oh, okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with the events in the new map. Besides crashing out at every single event, and I have to pray I can get back in time to get rewarded. I don't know. It's a lot of waiting around. Everything runs on clockwork rather than just like happening. It seems like. Everything's tied together, like in almost all the maps.
Hmm.
And unless you go out of your way to look for a successful map, they just fail over and over and over again. And over time, I'm sure that'll get better. People will just naturally be able to do those events without totally screwing it up. But I don't know. They're just not that fun. I just haven't really enjoyed the events generally. Dragon Stand is not too bad. The Garant, or however you say his name, is whatever. The timer on him alone is like, what,
It's
like 2 hours or whatever.
terrible. Yeah.
It's like, I can remember
those
sitting
waiting
doing
times.
Triple Trouble Worm, and we would, 15, 20 minutes into the worm attempt, somebody would screw up and we'd fail and sit there and wait for 2 hours. It's agonizing. It's just not, ugh.
The worst part about that is actually if you have, like, especially Tangle Death, if you have a completely organized map and you're like, okay, we split in, we do all the different, I was about to call them towers, you know, the outposts.
Yeah.
You just do them quickly, they're over in half an hour, and you have 200% participation, and you just sit there and wait and watch your participation just slowly tick down because like it just drains over time. That's the worst part in my opinion. Like actually going for it and then just sitting there waiting and then it dies instead of just having it pushed because, well, the events are pushed. So why can't the Chug Garen now spawn? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It just hasn't been fun. I don't know how else to explain it really. Some other people seem to have fun, seem to really be enjoying it, so maybe it's just me. But you know, my issues with the game, which may be more on a personal side rather than actually problems with the game, although there is some kind of fragmentation that still exists. I've just had
That's
bad luck.
something you
I
want to
guess.
talk about, if I may ask?
So on the 32-bit client, 100% of the time it was crashing at the end of every single one of these events. Dragon Stand, the Tangled Depths, Arc Basin, didn't matter what was happening. If I spent enough time in the map while I was doing the events, 100% at the end, it was crashing the client every single time. And that's because there's some kind of leak or fragmentation of the memory, and it's just eating up your RAM to the point where you hit the cap and it crashes your computer. So they released the Band-Aid, and it absolutely is a Band-Aid, where they give you the 64-bit client now. And for most people, that fixes the problem because now your computer can eat more RAM before it crashes. And depending on how much RAM you have to eat, it gets up to a certain percentage. And it seems to be different for everybody. But, you know, I only have 8 gigs. I regularly run to 7 gigs easily by the time the event is over. I know some people who have 16 gigs, they eat like 11 or 12 gigs of RAM, and they're okay because they don't get close to 16 gigs. And I'm not sure why it exactly happens. It's only in the new maps. It has nothing to do with fractals. It has nothing to do with raids. It has nothing to do with any of the maps in Corteria. It only has to do with Verdant Brink, Tangled Depths, Arc Basin, and Dragon Stand, or whatever the hell it's called. It's only those maps. And the events, I guess, because the events are happening or whatever, the longer you spend in those maps, the more that this problem seems to escalate, and eventually it leads to a crash. And if you're not partied with somebody, kiss that map goodbye, kiss that participation goodbye. Or you can kiss your participation goodbye anyway, because even if you crash and you get back in with a party member, however much you've done up to that point, it's reset to 0. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So you're not getting your full rewards anyway when that happens. And I don't know, it happens a lot. You know, the 64-bit client is not 100%. Probably crashes for me like 35% of the time now, or 40% of the time, something like that.
Still a lot.
Seriously?
It's still very frequent for me.
God damn.
That's very interesting.
I haven't had a single
I don't know
crash.
why.
Yeah,
I think you're actually you're the only one on my entire friend list that has that problem right now.
And it's
64. Sorry.
You know, it's not never happened. I had 0 crashes before Heart of Thorns launched, and ever since launch, it's just crash all the time. I have completely wiped my hard drive, reinstalled everything. I have reinstalled the fresh game several times. It doesn't matter what I do, it continues to happen. So
Really? So
I actually, People were making the joke like, download more RAM. I literally bought more RAM Friday so that when it comes in the mail, I'm going to see if it makes a freaking... And I'm going to fresh... Because I got an SSD drive as well. I'm going to fresh install everything on the computer, put more RAM in there, and see if it persists or not. I don't know. I need a better PC, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, the 64-bit client fixed most of my issues, but it's still not 100%. It still crashes several times a week for me at least. And so I don't even bother with the events half the time anymore because they just crash. Now I can go I did 20 fractal levels one day and had 0 issues. You know what I mean? So it's not everywhere in the game, but yeah, I don't know. Try the alpha client card says. Yes, absolutely. Get on that alpha client. But yeah, I don't know. I know I'm not I realize you guys probably haven't heard of this too much from other people, but 128-bit client, yeah. I do know a couple other people who have like left comments on my channel or sent me emails. So it's not just me. It does seem very few people since the 64-bit came out, but there's a few of us who like have this issue, and I don't know what.
I mean, that's definitely taken a lot of the enjoyment out of it. I can understand.
Killing it for me, killing it. Now raids have been like a shining light because they actually work, crash, and I can actually play the content.
Yeah,
so that's been nice.
So that's probably just an issue of the fact that there's not 150 people on the map.
Yeah,
that is true.
Well, that's probably a big part of it as well. Yeah, absolutely.
All these miniatures eating up the RAM.
Yeah. yeah. Oh, that's very interesting.
I don't know why it exactly happens. I've tried to trace it back as many different ways as I could, and I don't know. I watch, like, I have my resource monitor running, and I just watch it climb, crash. And it happens. It takes a while, don't get me wrong. It takes, like, I could spend, like, 2 hours in the map and it not have happened. But there's certain events that seem to trigger it more often than others. And, like, Dragon Stand, for example, getting to that, sitting for an entire Dragon Stand run, getting to the very end, and right before the kill, it seems like the crash happens every single time.
That's annoying.
Yeah, we had, like, that was the worst part, right at the first week, or the second week or whatever, before the 64-bit client. Every single time I went in with friends, we always had at least one guy DC at 1% of the dragon's health. It was so horrible. Like, it was like a dice roll. We made it into a competition almost. Like, we were just waiting for it to happen. At 1%, someone was going to DC. It was for sure, like, guaranteed. It was so horrible.
Yeah.
The problem with the events, though, is the events, I don't know, the way I see it is they're designed to be really epic, which, as a consequence, it means that the first time you go, wow, this is so good. Wow, wink. Especially, but then when you have to farm it loads of times to, say, get your runes of leadership, for example.
Well, really, any of the rewards. If you want to do, and Deroir has done a lot of the content, so maybe he can speak better on it, but it feels like a lot of the content is farming, farm.
I'll put it this way.
There's a lot of farming.
Very concise.
Too much farming.
There's not a lot of content,
no,
but the gating makes it feel like there is.
Yeah,
I love the raids though.
Yes, like I said, the raids are like, that shining light
grace.
for me, the saving grace. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Raids are neat. They're neat. I raided with Deroir's guild for like an hour or two, and I had a half-second delay, so I thought this might not be such a good idea, but it was fun. We killed Gorseval. I killed it for like the 5th time. It was good.
So when do you think the living story is going to start up again?
I don't care.
Oh, really?
February?
February, okay.
February is my birthday, so that would be...
The whole month is your birthday?
It is. The whole month is my birthday.
They're going to release it in February just for Brazil because they know he loves story.
Yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's told me
story.
That. It means they're giving him enough time to get all the gold he needs to pay for people to do the achievements for him. They don't want to do it too soon.
I did migraine.
Oh.
Doing fighting Mordremoth on extreme mode.
Is it hard?
It's just tedious.
The Aristogalkin.
Here-
Did you,
I hear
did
it's
you do
buggy.
it, Deroir?
Oh yeah.
Did you fight Aristogalkin?
Yeah, a long time ago. We
Yeah.
got it, I don't know, weeks ago.
It was the Aristogalkin fight. She literally just like target chases you with like fire arrows that drop from the sky, and you suddenly have like 75 stacks of burning on you, and you're
That's
just
it?
immediately dead. And so I was
Oh.
like, I could probably transfer these with my Condi Necro. That would be smart. And so I started doing that, and you transfer them, but they don't do any damage. All of the conditions you can transfer do absolutely nothing. So it was a complete waste to do that. But then she like bugged on a rock trying to res Garm and just broke. And so we just AFK killed it. So that was cool.
I mean, if I tell how you bug it out right here, will ArenaNet fix it? Because it's really fucking easy
I'm pretty
to bug
sure
her out,
it's the
and
same.
that entire fight is completely shit.
Yeah.
Like it is like the entire migraine achievement is just. I'm not gonna curse anymore because but it is bad. It is really really bad.
It's all broken. You can break
It
every
is.
fight so easily.
It's so tedious. Like it
Yeah.
took what did I take? It's like 2 hours
Yeah.
just to go through, and we had like 2 DCs, so we started over twice because you can't re-enter like any other instance or dungeon in the game. Like, meh. Yeah,
It was good. It was really
best thing.
The Aristogalkin, I'm pretty sure I know how that bug happens. I'm pretty sure it's like a line of sight break. She goes to do something and she like loses. She's going and she's like pathing to it, but she loses line of sight. So when she gets there, her AI just like turns off because she sees the thing she was going to and lost line of sight and then sees it again. Because you used to be able to do that with like Simon in a Raw Path 4. You could just like get aggro on her and stand behind a rock and then she would come to you and just break. And like you can do that on a couple of stuff. But like the Mouth of Mordramoth, like you can just like bug straight into the last phase of that fight and just like kill him. Like you can do that whole fight in like 10 seconds basically. It's pretty dumb. Or you can do it normally and it can take like half an hour. So
Also, slaying potions work in the raid, and they're not supposed to.
elemental
Yeah.
sling?
Yep.
Yeah, if you activate
Ah.
ArenaNet. Okay, I'm not gonna share it, but ArenaNet.
It's on
please
Reddit.
fix it.
It's all over
Is
Reddit.
it?
It's all over Reddit.
Does,
Yeah.
does like outlaw sling and all of that stuff work too?
I don't know, because I haven't been to Sabbatha.
Yeah,
All
But I know
this
it works
time.
on. I know it works on the Guardian.
that's what I heard. That elemental sling worked. So that's neat.
What
I
type
don't know.
of enemy is
I don't think the
Gorsel,
sigils do, but the potions do.
I don't know.
And that's not.
Gorseval.
And that's not me spreading it. It's all over
Hey, what?
Reddit.
Gorseval just may not have a type. Like
Hmm,
Blue
I-
Monger.
Oh, ghost.
Blue Monger is a plant.
He's a
And
ghost.
Gorseval could be a ghost. I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
He's actually just like thousands and thousands of ghosts,
Ghosts,
even in the
yeah.
lore. Spoiler.
What?
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh.
Damn you!
Sorry.
Is that really surprising though? Because the lore of the raid is not particularly developed. Does anyone care?
That, I don't know. That depends how you look at it. The actual note that says something. Can I spoil?
Yeah.
Just once.
Yeah, go ahead.
I already spoiled it. But the actual thing that talks about Gorseval is actually after the Gorseval fight. It's close to Sabbatha. So once you get there, there's a note that says like, when the spirits get scared, they gather up and get into stronger forces, which is Gorseval. And we actually see that earlier in the running section where they cluster up and become champions. Most
Right.
people don't see this, but they just like champion.
Yeah.
Same thing happens with Gorseval. When you first enter the Gorseval fight, if you look at him, it doesn't happen after if you die or whatever. But the first time he spawns, from the portal above, you just see these ghosts just come down and gather and form Gorseval. It's basically just because the ghost is scared.
Yeah.
They're scared and they form many
What are they
tongues.
scared about?
Many tongues.
Mordramoth, maybe.
No.
Nobody knows. Maybe they do.
I found
Wow,
an
wow.
interesting thing.
Way to spoil it for me.
I'm
There's
not
a-
spoiling anything here. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. It's a possibility.
I think in a fight though, Gorseval would beat Modromoth pretty easy.
You mean like the one you fight in the dream?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gorseval would throw him in the fucking trash.
Well, it doesn't
Exactly.
matter. Dream, outside the dream, dragon tongue, whatever it is, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, Gorseville could be either of those.
Yes.
It's a really, I don't know. I found, and I haven't done Sabbathy yet, so I can't speak. I've seen it done, but I haven't experienced it myself. But I've really been enjoying raids. I really enjoy the fights. I've been enjoying the challenge and all that stuff. So I am definitely, even though I haven't even completed the first raid yet, I'm looking forward to the next wing, probably more than almost anything else at this point.
I had a guildie yesterday when we were finally getting the Eternal title, who, after we did it, he summarized everyone's feeling perfectly. He said, this is probably the best moment of my entire gaming career. Like, that was just it. That was it. We just struggled through this entire thing, and we were in the minority who had the title, and he was just like, this is probably the best thing
Really?
ever. It was really
Yeah,
amazing.
I
Like, it was a great feeling. Don't get me wrong. I love the raid. Maybe it will be better later. We still have a long way to go. I'll be completely honest. We still have a long way to go before we're on a good standard of raids. But they are very challenging, but they are not as challenging as they can be. I had a discussion with one of my guildies who were like, well, in just World of Warcraft, we sort of compared the two. It took weeks and weeks just to even get just get close to something that resembled a tactic, and just like getting it down. Like, it was so much more work because it just required perfection to a whole other level. But as I said this to him, and I'll say this again. That would, if they just threw that in right now with Guild Wars 2, that would be an intense culture shock.
Jarring.
I think it already was.
Yeah.
I think it already was.
Yeah.
Oh no,
But even
was.
worse.
but it could have been worse. It could have been
Ramp up.
much worse.
Yeah. So maybe
If we had-
Wing 1 is just the warm up, just the flavor.
Do you
What was
think-
it? Yeah, exactly.
Do you
What
think
was it?
some of that
7?
too is like the gear gating that some of those other games do? Not just WoW, but lots of MMOs gear gate you, right? You can kill the first boss, maybe even the second, but then you start hitting a gear gate where you need the gear that drops from the raid in order to really progress properly. Especially if you want to do like heroic modes or hard modes in those raids, you have to get a full set of whatever tier they're offering if you want to really complete those. Do you think like, and that by doing so that it makes those raids take longer? Do you think that's some of it?
It's definitely
Like Guild Wars 2
a-
doesn't have that, right? You have
No.
ascended gear, that's it. You're done. But in WoW, you progressively gear up weapons and armor.
It's
to whatever
definitely
the tier is.
a gate. I'll give you that completely. But it's still a possible workaround for the ArenaNet team, and I think they've done really well. But they can still go much further because just like simply having, if you just look at the Gorseville fight, we basically just have 2 teams or whatever. Or in Sabbatha, you have 1 team and then 1 guy who does whatever, and then you have 4 people dedicated to something else. That's not a whole lot of work. But if you make an encounter where every single player, every one of the 10 players have to be on their A game and have their own very specific jobs at all times during the entire fight, then you have something that can be considered really dangerous. Like, and that is probably too much right now, but we might come to see it. I hope for dear life that we will come to see it, because it's really like it's really shown a whole other side of the Guild Wars 2 community, like raids actually having something challenging, and I really love to see this. There are flip sides to it, of course. It's broken up a few guilds, as I read. We lost a few members.
Yeah,
Some
guilds
people,
have
yeah.
drama surround them and get thrown out of things, and
exactly.
Hmm.
Like there are always consequences with breaking that wall, but I definitely see it as a very positive thing, and I really hope for more. But if they did that immediately, that would be too much of a culture shock, and we would have a much bigger outcry than we have. Is it that bad actually? Because to be honest, I've been
What?
too caught up in raids
I just
to
want
even read
to.
all the negativity.
I want to give a shout out to Abe, who is in stream chat right now. Abe did a really good job of. Oh, we got a source button.
Yeah.
Abe did a really good job of dodging Sabbatha's flamethrower. Right after he told everyone that they're not allowed to die to the flamethrower, he immediately died.
Oh.
That was actually horrible because we killed Sabbatha on Tuesday, and the only reason why I didn't have a video up of that till yesterday was because the first kill of the 3 we did this week, the first kill at 10% I was like, I can do an unrelenting assault. And I did it, and the flame wall came up. And that's just insta-dead. Like, there's nothing I can do. There's no save from that.
I have some bad news for you.
Oh,
Unrelenting Assault is a DPS loss, and you should rarely ever use it.
It is. It's true.
Just auto
But
attack.
it's good. It's really comforting. That was
There
my
are
To
there
go
are
in-
times when it makes a lot of sense to use, like whenever Gorseval is on the edge of the room and he's about to tantrum and go to the middle, you can channel Unrelenting
get closer.
Assault
Any kind of move.
when he flexes his
teleport them.
back and he teleports in and you chase him and you're doing damage as you
The
move to
whole
him.
way.
What do you
Yeah.
guys think about the kind of portal exploit you can do on Gorseval? You guys know this
portal
one?
exploit.
I don't know
I
if
do
I
not.
know
You
that.
you can avoid pulling it to the edge because you can put a portal. You know, just before you jump in to go to the platform where Gorseval is, you can actually fit a portal there, just on the edge, and you can play when the first kind of big AOE thing that kills you instantly.
Oh.
You can portal there, and everyone can
No.
teleport there, and then teleport immediately back, so you don't have to go in an updraft. You can just keep it in the center the whole time for the first phase.
But why would you need that if you can actually play the game?
Well, you don't have to move
It's
it.
a cheeky way to play the game.
You
It's
don't need to
kind
move
of
it.
it's kind of clever. I
Probably
like
not
it.
intended.
I mean, even Teapot said it's an exploit. I mean,
Why is it an exploit?
I doubt it's intended.
It's
How
not,
is that-
there's no way that's intended. The fight's intended for you to
What do you
break a
mean?
wall,
What-
glide up, and
What
glide
good
around.
is a portal if it's not like that's like the perfect use of a portal?
yeah, but okay, let me put it another way.
It's actually
you can
not.
have the perfect mesmer build to deal out the immense amounts of quickness. There's like just constant, permanent quickness to your
Yeah.
entire party.
Yeah.
That would only be a complete loss to bring a portal.
No.
A, like
Well, I mean,
massive.
You don't need all
If
three
you just want to
utilities.
if you just want to skip that one thing,
You don't need all three utilities for permanent quickness.
You really don't, because like we have like we frequently have 50 seconds of quickness. Like it's absolutely retarded. Like granted, I mean there are probably like I don't think there are actually any mesmers that are as good as Card is. I think Card is probably just the best mesmer that has ever existed. Like
Yeah.
Oh.
if
I'm-
you don't have Card as a mesmer, then I would not take a portal. And if you do, then you know
Then you don't need a portal.
I have to see what all these links are now.
I just think it's an
Nonsense.
This is exactly what I
I
expect.
don't know. I just think it's an interesting strategy that you can try. If
Yeah, I
maybe
think it's-
people don't like moving. But yeah. What I want to know is though, how soon do they need to release raids? Because I imagine, Deroir.
They already told you it won't be until next year.
Yeah, I know, but for example, Deroir, it's not going to be long before you're just going to have all these fights down so well. You're just not going to die anymore, right?
Yeah. We already consider the Veil Guardian and the Gorseval to be on farm.
There you go.
Yesterday, like right after, because we were only 7 who actually got the Eternal title, and some of the other guys were like, "Well, fuck, we're missing Gorseval. Can we do like you see that at the very end of my my video actually? He's like, "Oh, can we have 1 or 2 goes at Gorseval?" We actually first tried that, and we were like, "Okay, that's good. We have that down." So we're pretty confident with that. So, but there's still some way. I'd imagine it to come out within like I don't know, within 3 months. I hope at least.
Wing 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wing 2.
Yeah.
End of
I
January,
really hope
beginning of
that.
February. Well, beginning of February. Sometime in February would be my guess.
Yeah.
Maybe alongside the Living World. even.
Alongside the living world.
Yeah.
Everything's
maybe.
coming in.
I
February,
mean,
guys.
She did say,
Well,
Leo Hoya did
December,
say that
December
it
and
was,
January are kind of write-offs because there's a lot of people on vacation. By the time they get back into the office and start rolling, there'll be something towards the end of January, but really the game starts to pick back up in February.
Can you put a video on the stream if I link it?
If you hang on, if you
Go
link it
confusing.
in, if
Oh.
you link it in Twitch chat, I can.
Yeah, I'll
Is-
do that.
hang
It's a
on.
good video.
Hang on, not yet. Yeah, okay, right. Okay, right.
I
hang
put
on,
it.
hang on. Oh, wait. I thought you didn't want to show this one.
No, it's good. Don't worry.
Okay, hang on. Let me start this. Quick, discuss something while I start the bot and get this on the stream.
Oh, someone just mentioned
Carrie
the
just
fractal
mentioned
leaderboard.
leaderboards. I actually have some thoughts about that.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Go
like
for it.
dead serious, because it's actually something I've been wanting to discuss with you guys. I completely forgot to mention this. Thank you, Barry, for reminding me. But the legendary collections, just in general.
The legendary
is-
collections.
Yes, exactly, except for that
What
one.
is that? Wait, what is
Yugi's
that?
legendary decks.
Because I believe, and I read this on to begin with. I read this on Reddit. Someone was like, well, it seems that we can't get the next tier, the last tier of the fractal legendary backpack unless we have the fractal leaderboards. So
Really?
what better way to introduce the leaderboards than to actually introduce it at the very second that they're needed on Tuesday, this Tuesday.
This
not
Tuesday.
Is that enough
On
to
the-
save?
on the first?
It's a Tuesday. It was. Oh, it'll actually probably be the next Tuesday, but it would coincide because in 3 days actually, people should have had enough time to work through all the pages needed for the legendary back piece. The only time gate that is for the precursor, which is 2, 4, 6 weeks before you would actually need the the leaderboards to come out. If they release that at the same time as you needed it, or as the dedicated few could actually need it or use it, would that maybe be a possibility?
That's how it's been working out with Brazil so far. Once he got bored of all the other things in the game, raids came out.
They just actually-
Because like right
Yeah.
now, they already said that they're changing stuff with fractals come December. They're
Yes.
changing.
Yeah, I mean,
something.
I just don't care.
So why not
care about
update that
fractals.
thing in? Like just
No
throw
one
it
should
into
care
the
about
package.
Yeah,
fractals.
Well,
that's,
why do you need? So
maybe they will.
I'm a little confused. Why do you need the leaderboard for the back piece?
Because apparently you need to be, I don't remember how it actually words it. The NPC says something about you have to overcome a challenge or something. They said so, the NPC
That's
something
really
says
vague.
yeah, but
whatever.
that probably just
When you
means
have
do a
the
million
Unbound.
fractals. Just do 1,000.
No,
fractals.
no, but because it won't let you progress. The only thing, like it says, speak to this guy, and when you speak to the guy, he just says you have to overcome great challenge. It's just like we know that PvP leaks, just to like segue that in there.
Sure.
PvP leaks will also feature parts for the legendary back piece in the PvP scene. Why not have the same thing for PvE with the legendary back piece in there?
Yeah,
It
why
would
not?
make perfect
Possible.
sense to throw that out at the
Play-
same time.
Play the video.
Okay, you want to play the video?
Play the video.
Okay, I went on a longer discussion.
didn't do anything.
Okay, there we go.
It's like we have. Oh, god damn it! I totally fucking Nike.
Brazil
that
becomes
ice ball.
Nike. That's the name of the video.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. It just finished playing. There's a picture of Nemesis there as well. At the end, the Memesis picture. Quite a good one. But yeah.
I can't actually hear. Are you yelling at people? Is that what's going on?
No.
No, he just misfires, and
Oh well.
so does Nike.
Ta-da! Why did you want to play that, Brazil? Was there any particular reason? Or just for damn memes?
We're all just linking raid fails in chat, so I thought it was good.
It is pretty good. It is a pretty good video. Where did you get this info? Oh yeah, PvP leagues are this Tuesday.
Yeah, what's happening here is that Deroir is reading into what overcoming a challenge means. a little
think
too
that
much.
could mean a
like-
little bit. That could mean anything, really.
It can. Like, this is completely
It's a
bonkers
conspiracy
news.
theory.
It's call it a conspiracy theory, but you can quote me on this when it happens. I
Oh,
am
okay.
99% sure that fractal leaderboards will be tied into the legendary back piece.
I am 100% sure we're never gonna get fractal leaderboards.
Wow. So
I'm not.
when
Okay.
can people, if you were hardcore about it and you were keeping up with it, when can people actually hit that barrier? Tuesday?
Yeah,
Age
it's in
barrier
3
for
days.
Tuesday?
3 days exactly.
Okay.
Because I
Because
know
I'm-
because
I'm
I'm
on, like-
4 days away.
I'm on step 3, so I'm a ways away yet. So
I'm not even doing it because I honestly just don't give a shit. Fuck fractals.
How
I-
would it be
I've been
integrated
playing
though?
fractals.
The higher ranking you are, the faster you get the next
It
step.
it
or
wouldn't
what?
be. It-
I've actually discussed this a bit with a couple of my guildies because the problem is that if it's only the players on the highest tier or the highest ranking who can get it, then a lot of people are going to feel very screwed over, and that's not how they want it. Maybe they're going to do seasons like they did. They're planning on doing with the PvP leagues, where so and so many, like let's say 200 people can get it this season, and the season is what 2 months, 3 months. That would add some prestige to a legendary back piece because if you have that within the first 2 or 3 months, then yeah, you may be good at this game. This particular
Leaderboards
game
need
thing.
to be tied to like time on completion and stuff.
I'm very curious how they're going to implement it. I'm
This-
very
I mean-
scared about it, but I'm
I
very
think
curious.
Brazil's right. Time on completion is what it should be tied to. Really.
First
right?
of all, they're never going to be fractal leaderboards. I'm even counting like a German. This is how serious I am. This is one. Second of all, it needs to be fucking completion. And then by the time you've gotten to fucking number 2, you shoot yourself in the goddamn head because
Wow.
fractals are fucked. And no one
Wow.
gives a shit about them.
Wow.
And you shouldn't give a shit about them because
Why
they're
not?
terrible.
Why not?
How likely do
Yeah,
you think?
I like fractals.
Mm.
I don't.
Why can't we make it good again?
I'm
think they're
done with
rewarding.
fractals. I got to fractal level
I have
80
fun.
before it was cool. They reset me to 30. I got to 50 again, and they promised leaderboards. Never put them in the game. I fucking dealt with this update and spent 15 minutes fighting Lornar Dragonsinker and Uncle Tom. And they say, we're going to fix it in December. I just don't fucking care.
What
It's
if they
like
do, though?
When you're dating a
the
girl
thing is-
and you break up like 7 times, and then after like the 8th time, it's just like there's no point anymore. Whatever.
I know a lot of people have only been dragged or been drawn back into fractals because for a long time for those who did it daily, it felt really easy. But the only reason we kept doing it was because of the rewards. Now they've implemented rewards that nobody wants. No, nobody likes the golden weapons except for Brazil. I'm kidding, mate. I'm kidding, but nobody actually wants them. But what if they actually added something worthwhile, something that could get that spark back into fractals,
Like what?
Like, I mean,
like fractal leaderboards, and tied to a legendary back
I don't
piece.
I don't care about leaderboards. They're meaningless. What else is going to attract me?
The legendary back piece. The back piece is going to attract you to the leaderboard.
How about
Well,
3 new fractals?
basically.
One
How
for
about
each
nudes?
boss
They better
you
fucking
said.
do that soon, by the way.
in the Veil Guardian, the Veil Spirit Veil.
Ah, that would be
Why?
interesting, actually. Yeah.
3 new fractals, slightly toned down versions of each Veil boss.
Man,
No,
No?
please don't.
I don't
Please
like that
just
idea either.
Don't sugarcoat it or like water
Why?
it down. They're already good as they are.
Well, no, but for a 5-man team, it would have to be. It would be have
Yeah,
to be
but
less.
the
intense.
the cream of the entire fight in the raids is that it's tuned to 10 people. That's what makes the fight so intense because everyone can have something else to do. In a 5-man party, you're restricted in so many ways with the design. You really
Well,
are.
let's think about that for a second. Veil Guardian's the only one that really would be.
you don't need 10 people for Veil
You don't need
Guardian.
10 people.
You can do it like 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the damage, yeah, but
I'll put it to you this way. I will do fractals if they can give me an Arcana Dark Magician.
They're going to mail you one.
But
that
other
times
than that,
four
I
cents?
just fuck it. I don't care.
They'll mail you one of those.
Yeah.
Something that I want to ask you guys about. Do you think that it's okay that some professions don't get used that much in raids? For example, I've barely seen
like
any.
beats.
I don't know. Because I think Thief is really
That's the
good.
only class we sort of discriminate against right now.
Yeah. What about? I
Guardians.
haven't seen Guardians either.
Oh, we had two.
Guardians are all over the place.
We actually just ran with one Dragon Hunter yesterday, which Hammer Guardian. Perfect.
Really?
Perfect.
For what?
Instead of our healer.
What?
Oh,
Permanent ages,
For-
all the little bits of heal that you actually need for the fight, because
For
you're not
Sabbatha?
taking, you're not taking constant tick damage like you're doing with Gorseval or Veil Guardian. Dragon Hunter was amazing.
Interesting. Well, that's good.
Shout out to Froda.
Okay.
Okay. That's a well. Just need to play more raids.
I think Thief is just behind the other classes right now. It needs a buff.
It's good for Veil Guardian.
I think it's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with Thief.
There's nothing
Really?
wrong with it, but it is pushed into a corner right now. It's
Why?
not as diverse as many other classes can be. And that's
it
what
has to
limits
be,
it in the use of for raids.
Yes.
It's the only thing.
Yeah, let's think about it for a second.
Yes,
For each
the fucking
class.
Reaper does.
That's it though. For each class we got, okay, so for Thief, Daredevil, it would be a Venom Share.
Yeah.
It
Do they
can
have-
be.
Do they have, what other options do they have that are
Is
really
Venom
viable?
Share that great?
Power?
Basilisk
Share's, yeah, very-
Venom Share is really good on break bars.
Break bars.
Yeah, fantastic.
So is Slick Shoes!
Yeah.
But-
Or the Revenant Staff.
Yeah.
I mean,
then we
in general.
think about the other classes though. Okay, so Warrior, you got two builds basically. Elementalist, you have Tempest Healer, Tempest DPS.
I don't really like Elementalist Healer. I think it's
Druid.
a little try hard.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
And then Druid, you have Healer Druid. Oh, well, I mean Healer Ranger. That's about it, right?
yeah, I don't see
that's-
any.
well,
I think it's Condi Ranger pretty good.
healer is sort of putting it into like shoehorning in, because it's a lot more than that. At least we're using it a lot more effectively than just buffing the healing. We started out with running Zealots. We had our ranger was running Zealots, which is power, precision, healing power, and he was running with Frost Spirit, and he was just like general buff to the.
Right.
I'd more consider it like a a
Support?
buff ranger than support ranger than just like
Yeah.
healer ranger. Yeah.
Sure. Actually, kind of
And
like
that's
that.
running
support.
that's running
Support.
berserkers, right?
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Running berserkers.
You can do that now, yeah. When you have the fight down, yeah, sure. You can cut your very, very, very expensive Zealot's gear.
I don't think there's a point to Zealot's gear.
No,
Just
that's
play
the problem.
fucking Nomads.
I think it's I don't I agree with you. I don't know that Zealot's gear is really you should really be investing money into it. I think it's a cushion for people to get used to that kind of play style or whatever you want to call it.
What if you can use the druid as a tank as well?
You can.
You can.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah, this
the,
will
the only dilemma is if you're trying to manage both tank and healer
Just have
very
to
early on when you
manage.
don't know the game or don't know the encounter.
Yeah.
But you can definitely play healer tank.
That's
definitely.
what we have. It works incredibly well.
Because that kind of frees up a spot for another
It does, yeah.
DPS. And you kind of need. Would you guys say that Chronomancer is mandatory for the raids?
Yeah.
Basically,
You
It
think it's
is.
mandatory?
Yeah.
Because I've seen you have to have one.
The insanity that you can create
Yeah.
with the Chronomancer.
You just abuse
Like,
quickness.
tables can be flipped.
It's
Yeah.
like card.
like
Card.
I said it
exploiter.
like I never go below 12k DPS on Revenant as long as I'm able to attack stuff. Like, granted, if I'm like flying up to a cannon, it's Sabbath. I'm not doing any damage. But like, if you're like fighting a boss and you have quickness, it's like you're just basically sitting at 13k DPS all the time, and it's pretty good.
How bad do you think that's going to get nerfed?
It's not going to get nerfed at all.
You don't think you don't think Revenant's going to get nerfed?
No.
Especially
not.
like
I think it is.
Chronomancers for Alacrity for my warrior. Because
Yeah.
as opposed to Revenants, Alacrity really helped warriors. And well,
Yeah.
every other class too.
Yeah, everyone,
13k DPS on a Revenant is like, it's pretty good, but you can do a lot more on other stuff. Like a Warrior, you can probably get probably like 18k, honestly. Yeah, you can do that on like an Elementalist, but
I had a buddy earlier, one of the guys that I frequently ping pong my ideas between with Revenant and stuff. He was trying out the permanent quickness chrono with the running with the facet of nature, of course, on
Yeah.
his Revenant, because it's sort of mandatory if you want to actually maximize it. And he said, I don't know, I didn't watch the spreadsheet or whatever, but he said that running without Shiro and with Malix instead, he could get a 50k Unrelenting Assault and 16k just what's it called? Auto attack
on Veil Guardian,
on Veil Guardian. Yeah.
yeah, but I mean,
About 20k
50k
higher than mine.
Unrelenting Assault is still worse than auto attacking.
Yeah, especially if it's 16k every second.
I'm not.
Still,
I'm not
People,
hitting that.
people
but-
don't realize that Unrelenting Assault is DPS loss because Obel says that just auto attacking is 15k and using Unrelenting Assault is 25k. But what do
Well,
I know? I'm
it's-
not
it's
here to shit talk.
It's certainly not 25k, but what is your unrelenting assault normally hit for?
I was hitting 20k on Gorseval with the teleport blink strategy, which is fine, honestly.
No.
I really haven't
20k and
been
your
extra
auto attack
but-
does like 9k.
Yeah,
Well,
like 7
does
to
it?
9. 7 to 9.
7 to 9, right?
7 to 9. So let's say 8k. How many auto attacks can you do in the time that you do an unrelenting assault?
Like 6.
So there you go. That's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know it's very situational. Unrelenting Assault is very situational, but it's very useful at times.
Yeah.
Oh,
Especially, I don't know why I even got this into like my rotation, but just engaging on Sabbatha, I usually just start out with Unrelenting Assault because it pumps up my might as well, just to begin with. It just sort of wraps it up, but it's very situational. You don't want to just pop it on cooldown ever.
right.
Don't be that guy.
I
Don't be
would
that
it's,
guy.
it's even worse than being a DPS loss because if you have to keep up like Facet of Nature or something, you're just eating up time on that. Like if you just randomly use Unrelenting Assault, you're just losing energy, and that's bad.
It's a
You
good
can
way
do
to
so
start
much
off a
more
fight, though.
without it. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
You're right though. It's a good way to start off a fight for sure. It's like
I do.
it's a
I mean, it's a-
closer, and it's a
Depends on the boss, but
It's a great way to hit the boss and start the enrage timer before anyone else gets to do anything, and you just waste 5 seconds. It's
Exactly.
perfect for that too.
perfect.
But
Yeah.
You always want to, the thing with all the bosses in the raid is that you always have to account for the few seconds before all of your boons are stripped.
Yeah.
Every single time on
Yeah.
every boss. You run in, the timer starts, and you have like 2-3 seconds, and then every single boon is stripped, and that's when you want to pop something like that.
The
You don't want
bans
to
are
do it
not-
before, it's just waste.
yep.
Yeah. So for Gorseval, the toughness is higher, a good amount higher. I noticed that like
Yeah,
instead
it's
of
probably like double.
yeah. So I noticed instead of 10k to 12k auto attacks with the warrior, I was doing 8k to 10k, and so does that mean? Do you think that for Gorseval, people should be trying to run more Condi builds than power builds?
Uh,
Condi
But
Berserker.
I don't
that
know
depends
the
on the
more.
class.
Only
Definitely
Condi
depends on the
Berserkers.
class. You
It's-
don't want a Condi Revenant.
Connie Revenant is terrible. It is,
Yeah.
it is abysmal. It's like probably like 5k DPS. It's
Uh-oh.
trash.
Oh, that's quite sad because I actually really enjoyed
Yeah.
playing it. I think it was quite a lot of good fun.
I don't, so I'm happy.
Oh really?
It- there's-
Situational again, but it's not that good.
Brazil is shaking because Brazil is wiggling his feet, pretending he has double bass pedals under him because I used to play drums and it's just a habit I built up. So that's why Brazil is always shaking. Anyways, Condi at Gorseval is interesting because if you have like 2 Condi Berserkers, like Condi Engineers, something that applies burning, you can take a Condi Necro and you can really abuse Epidemic. Otherwise, Condi Necro is kind of bad.
One or two.
But do you not? Yeah, you take.
I
do you
only
not
just
take
take
two?
You could
What
so
about
abuse
two? See,
Epidemic. It's so
Epidemic
many.
You
back.
only need one. You only need one.
Actually, I would say Gorseval should be the Condi fight because not only does he have higher toughness, so it does less power damage? The Condi bypasses that. But also, there are long periods of time where you are not at the boss and you can't be DPSing him. So yeah, when you run away from the boss and jump off and fly away and then come back, that's a
Oh,
good 10
yeah.
seconds of not hitting him.
Yeah.
However, your Condis are still on him and ticking.
Yeah.
Condi
So-
is very useful on Gorseval. It really is. I think it was yesterday actually. We had two guildies having a burn off, so to speak. Ellie and Warrior, who could do the most damage on just burn ticks. It was insane numbers, like 25k. I think one of them hit nuts, like really, just on Gorseval.
Yeah.
The Condi
Shadows,
And-
I can't speak for everybody else, but I don't need a program to see the DPS. Look at the combat log.
Yeah, you can look at the
Yeah, exactly.
combat log. There are like legal DPS meters. I have one, and it just like reads the combat log and just like calculates.
Yeah, I seen that post. Is that the one that
Yeah, it
was
was
posted
on Reddit.
I would like Alpha Hydrate to explain what he means by that.
You don't understand DPS.
Hmm?
You don't understand.
How does
man.
DPS work?
DPS uptime. I think he wants a Mimesis video to be
Mimesis.
run again.
Mimesis. Yeah. Just call him. He'll explain it to you, but don't worry, man.
Have
Tell me
they
about
said?
Smoke.
I know that in that thread they posted a whole bunch of reasons why it's not against the TOS and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Has anybody actually said anything from ArenaNet in that thread or no?
I mean,
Does it not read?
I'm just
memory?
curious.
It doesn't read
I'm just
memory.
curious. No, it doesn't.
no.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I guess it
Um,
isn't against the TOS.
I haven't used it, but
The memory reading DPS meter is, I don't use it. I'm just saying right now, I don't use it. All I'm gonna say is that it is incredibly fucking useful. It is like god tier good.
Does it tell you how to kick people, Brazil?
It tells me I don't use it. I don't use it. I just don't. But it's good at informing you that whenever you're fucking fighting Sabbatha and phase 1 and 2 are solid, and then you get to phase 3 and your party's DPS is a fourth of what it was in phase 1 and 2, that's a big problem.
Oh, but you know, as people learn to deal with the fight better and better, that difference is gonna
Yes.
shrink.
But it's
Very-
good
very-
addressing.
When I was first doing Veil Guardian, it would get to the last phase and everyone would just flail around, do about 3 damage, and then you know you forget about the green, you forget about the green circle and just die, and there you go, it's over. So how will we ever do it? Yeah, we've got no damage in the last phase, but then now we kind of actually get it within a 1 or 2 tries. Just
Yeah.
because we've done it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure that 1/4, soon it will be a third, then a half, then 66%, and so on.
Yeah.
Shadows, besides the meter that Brazil just mentioned, which recently came out on Reddit, meters are the other meters that are out there you're not allowed to use because it's against terms of service.
Granted,
So until now, there hasn't really been a meter that people
Yeah.
could use.
And it's also not your brain that sees numbers, it's your eyes that see numbers. And then
Yeah.
you could tell how long it's taken you to put those numbers up, and you could easily do the calculation.
yeah.
You just record it and then rewatch the video, especially with Condis, easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously with power, you have to go through the combat log, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. I don't really know where we were going with.
Yeah, I
Really?
mean the memory reading DPS meter is like, it violates the terms of service, absolutely. But I know people that use it. I know people that constantly use it, and nothing happens. Like, that's like, I mean, I've known people who have sold gold basically the entire time I've played Guild Wars 2, and nothing happened. Like, I don't know.
Still shouldn't do it.
I agree. You really still shouldn't do it.
Don't advocate
because
this.
The possibility
not
of something
advocating.
happening is always there. But I don't know.
Yeah. If you need more gold.
So yeah, we tried to talk about that a little bit last week. We tried to talk about whether or not it would be good or bad for the game, or if it would ever be allowed to have a DPS meter.
Oh, right. Yeah, I watched the video. You guys did a good show.
I don't
Yeah.
have much experience with WoW, but I know that they have a lot more meters, so to speak, like
But you
legal
can mod
meters.
it.
To
Or they
There are-
allow any
yeah,
third-party
mods.
program.
Yeah, you
Alright,
you can write
alright.
mods for the game.
Is
kind
it good
of.
or bad? Is it allowed?
It is.
I was told that the raids are a lot easier to like get a grasp of like who's slacking behind, who's not.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it. That's
Doing their
exactly
part.
You can just see a list of people, ordered numerically.
Alright.
It's a
DPS.
Is
problem
it allowed?
with how
Yeah, it is
people
allowed. Yeah.
react to that, because ArenaNet is afraid that when people see there's a problem, they're not going to talk to the person constructively and address the problem and get it fixed.
Yeah.
ArenaNet is afraid that people are going to see a problem and they're just going to kick them from the group. And they
So-
won't be the friendliest community in MMOs.
So as it is
So-
now, there is no way of really telling.
And people just still kick each other.
Well,
because they think they're good.
I think there is a way of telling. It just takes you longer to figure out who's slacking on the DPS.
Yeah, but no one's actually gonna go through that. Mostly,
No.
we just go on a whim, like we've seen in pugs. Just to give it an example, you usually shout at the profession that you least like, or if they're running something, whatever, that you don't agree with, you just shout at them like, why are you not dealing DPS enough, or why are you not picking up the slack? Get better, get good. But maybe if we actually had a meter, it wouldn't create this.
What if
I don't
you?
know.
Well, I mean, at least
I say.
with I mean, Veil Guardian, there'll be tells besides DPS. There'll be, okay, if this guy keeps on getting teleported, yeah, I could understand he's probably not playing that well.
Yeah.
Or if he's assigned to green and he can't get in the green,
Or if
not
he
so good.
constantly gets hit by Gorsible's smash attack.
Yeah.
Oh my
The
God.
easiest thing in the game
Oh
to
my
dodge.
God.
Like, I don't even have to like look at the screen anymore. I can just like look at my skill bar to make sure that my rotation is literally as perfect as using things as soon as they come off, and I still dodge Gorseval's punch every single time. Because just like I know it's coming, like you count 3 auto attacks or whatever, and you just dodge it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
But I mean that makes it a little bit annoying for, I guess, the raid leader, because he's gonna have to, instead of having like an obvious clue, he'll have to be like keeping an eye every time there's a smash, keeping an eye every time there's a teleport, saying,
We are doing
"Oh,
that already.
You don't even have to like you don't have to watch, like you just like kind of keep a look out of the corner of your eye, and it's just like, okay, it's been this many seconds, he's gonna punch.
You especially that
No, I
punch,
just
you
mean
usually see
I
it
don't
on
mean.
Alright.
I'm not saying that the raid leader has to. Of course, he has to watch out for the smash. I'm just saying he has to not only watch out for the smash, but he also has to watch out for who is failing the smash every time, and
Yeah.
then like remember, oh, this guy, and this guy. Next time it's this guy and this guy. This guy's failed it twice. So
Usually you see the pattern like that. You don't kick. At least the common way that we've gone about it is more or less, if you fail at it for 2 hours straight, then we might address it. Like, dude, can you please look out for it? Like,
Yeah.
there's a difference in just like, dude, you got hit, you're out. Like,
Right. Yeah.
it's just like
Yeah.
looking at it. If it's consistent, and if you're not progressing, if you're not learning the encounter better and better for every attempt you go in, then perhaps you should get talked to by the raid leader.
Or
Let's just
take a
say it like
break.
that.
Or just come back tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I don't
See,
think
that's
there's
the
a
thing,
problem with
though.
that.
I will say this about like DPS meters and stuff. You know, we have a very short, distinct raiding time schedule. So we only raid for 3 hours. We don't go for more than that.
Casual.
Yeah, absolutely casual. We don't go for more than 3 hours. There's a lot of reasons why that is. So when we go in and do something like Veil Guardian for the first time, figuring out, and we're fighting them, and we're making progression each time, getting to phase 2, getting to phase 3, whatever the case is. But knowing, for example, that our DPS is low, well, then we need to compare after each pool or after each fight. You know, how much were you doing? you know, and make adjustments then. And sometimes those adjustments take a long time for, you know, a casual group like we are. So if we had a DPS meter, it would be a much more immediate change and take us a lot less time to make those adjustments in order to kill the boss in a more timely manner.
But to a certain extent, if you're in a group like that, you can just look at a successful run. For example, in a lot of the successful runs of Gorseval that I've seen, they get it to phase by kind of about 5:30ish. So then you know if you don't get it at around 5:30, you're probably just gonna die and lose. In the same way, in the Veil Guardian, you want to get it done at, you know, at least 6:30 if you know you try and win.
Yeah, but if you're just looking at timers, like if you're in the learning process, if you're just in like a progression learning, just like we want to go at it, then you probably shouldn't call it off after you hit that 5:30. You might want to just punch through it and learn the encounter, just like get better instead of restarting constantly.
Absolutely.
Just like to add to
Definitely. You
I
definitely
completely
want to
see if you have the DPS, if you have the damage down, maybe you can look at the timers there and see, okay, maybe we're not all good for this run. Maybe we should restart and get our rotations right. But when you're learning, just take it easy, punch through it. It is hard. It is.
Yeah.
How much?
What I mean is, you kind of know how fast you need to be doing it, which in a way is a measure of DPS. Without seeing the numbers, you know how fast you have to kill it. You know how.
For Gorseval, to kill it like before the enrage timer, you need 7,400. I think it's 7,400 DPS per person. That's also considering 2 minutes of downtime where you're just not damaging him. 7,400 DPS. That's like fucking easy. But I don't know.
I don't use DPS meters. I don't know.
I don't either.
Well, you can just divide its health by how much time you have to attack it.
Yeah.
Get the minimum per person.
It has 21 million health, I think.
Does that
Pretty sure it's
include? Does that
21.
include kind of losing most of a person due to the healer?
7,400 DPS per person. Like 10 people doing that. But at the same time, like Revenant, just a Revenant is like 13k with quickness. So it's like it basically replaces the need for a healer. If you have two, that's 13k again. Like so that is very easy to meet, assuming that everybody is like doing something. So you don't need that much DPS to beat the boss like before the enrage timer.
I'm curious, how many hours did everybody spend learning each boss?
Veil Guardian didn't take us that long. Gorseval took us somewhere between 15 and 20 hours to kill it. To learn it didn't take that long.
Well, that's what I mean. Your first kill.
Oh. Yeah. Our Veil Guardian, I don't even remember. It was a couple of hours. Most of us had already like studied the videos and whatnot. Most of us hadn't tried it though, but we just went in and we knew what to do. So it took us a couple of hours. I don't actually remember. Gorseval took us 15, 16 hours before we got that kill. Sabbatha was more of, that was when we really felt the struggle of real life push in. So yeah, I think I wouldn't be wronged in saying it was 19, 20 hours, maybe a little bit more. Someone might correct me in chat. I don't know. But it was somewhere around that for the first kill.
Interesting.
But yeah, that was a real struggle. We kept hitting this wall where we were like at 5%, and then one or two guys had to leave. Unfortunately, like it happens. Real life is a bitch sometimes. And like once you replace these two people, you just sort of go back to square one sometimes.
That was a massive
like
problem.
you have
That's a big problem I had from Veil Guardian. It took me about 10 hours of gameplay to play it, but to beat it. But kind of every few hours, people would just leave, and then they have to relearn it, and it was pretty bad. Yeah.
Definitely.
I haven't even tried Gorseval that much actually. I barely done that much honestly.
I've got 6 hours on Gorseval currently. That we've only faced him twice, so
I have been pugging groups. I've been joining pugs all
Oh
the time.
god.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Boots.
So I got
Wow.
Veil Guardian down quite a few times, but it's not easy to pug Gorseval. I've joined Teapot's raid a few times, but not for very long, and that went okay. I tried Gorseval for a few times also with an ATT group just I pugged in. That's been okay too. We almost had Veil Guardian, then Boots had to leave, and you had another 5 hours. Oof. Yeah. Then there's this other
Boots'
time
fault.
that another ATT. Restless, were you in that ATT group? No, you wouldn't have been. You would have been in the Teapot team. No. There's an ATT group that had been doing it for 5 hours, and then I switched in for someone who went to go to sleep, and we got it first time. And then I think like everybody was tired, so we didn't really get to do Gorseval at that point. But yeah, no, I'd love to. If any of you have a group that is trying Gorseval and would like me in it.
Listen, if you just want to carry me to the very end,
Yeah.
I'm an epic pug.
Listen,
I'm an epic
Deroir,
pug. I'm not just good
how
at
much gold? How much gold for the carry, the 9-man carry, all the way through the raid?
Oh, really?
How much would you charge? Do you think? Do you reckon you could do
I haven't
Gorseval with
even
9?
considered that.
Getting someone the eternal title, I'd charge them 1,000 gold for that.
I think the
But,
easiest way would actually be to like gradually port them in. So you basically do the entire instance to like the 3rd phase with 10 men, and then one guy who's expendable switches out whoever you're selling it to. Oh, probably. I don't know. I haven't tested it.
Or
You
just have them like stand outside of the arena and not
They
do
literally
anything.
just have to. I don't know if they actually have to tag it. So
Yeah, I don't know
because
either.
you can't enter the fight afterwards. Like
Yeah.
Gorseval puts up this wall around the spawn area and closes the gate, and
Yeah.
I don't actually know what Veil Guardian does. It's probably something. Oh yeah,
There's
the,
a wall.
the entire
Yeah,
wind
There's a-
wall.
there's a
Yeah.
wall.
yeah.
and
But
Sabbath
you-
just blows up the bridge.
Yeah.
You could
But you
just
can
let
actually
the,
fly past that, but let's not discuss that.
You could just let the customer just join, and if they die, you just don't bother to save them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
It's dead weight.
if they die, they don't get
If
the
it's-
eternal
if it's a
title.
pure-
Oh yeah, that's
just-
true. Yeah, but I mean, just to beat the raid,
Yeah, I'd probably charge 500 gold for that.
paying 250 gold for a Veil Guardian kill. That's good
Wow.
value for the people who are selling
For
it.
Veil Guardian.
Yeah.
That's so easy.
It's like the
It's
people
totally
paying
doable.
3,000 gold for that ghostly infusion. I don't get it. I really don't get it, because in a few months everyone can buy it. In 10 weeks, a lot of people can just straight up buy it from the vendor. Like
10 weeks?
It just takes 10 weeks, yeah.
What the? That's a long time.
That's
What is
it's,
it though?
it's
Really?
actually not that bad.
Yeah.
God damn.
That's the most expensive thing in the entire vendor's collection, which is why I want it.
How much
Also
is it?
because it's full. It's 1,000.
Hmm.
So
Mm.
And what's the
I mean,
cap every week?
105.
105?
5.
105?
It means
I
you
don't
can
think
get.
Speaking of
Cap-
caps,
I don't think I hit cap last week. Crap.
Oh no.
It means you can get
Oh, no.
It's gonna be 11 weeks for you, buddy.
Yeah. You can get a full ascended set every 13 weeks, which is pretty good.
I mean,
Basically.
and so people who are paying 3,000 gold for that infusion, holy
Are
shit.
crazy.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good
stupid.
point. We did 9-man Veil Guardian with Boots dead. So you remember that? I'm sure.
That's true.
Yeah. That
Well,
did
Well,
happen.
I wasn't
Actually,
dead.
Veil Guardian
I
was
wasn't dead though. I disconnected.
Yeah, and then you died.
Yeah. And
We
ran off to
definitely
the
have
Yeah,
we have our share of that. We have at least one guy who's in Australia, so his ping is not
Australian.
amazing,
Oh.
and he has trouble. I noticed quite a few people. I've seen on Reddit a couple of times too. Quite a few people, not just from Australia, from wherever, but they have issues with the gliding on Gorseval because the ping, I guess, I don't know, their glider doesn't open, or they think that they hit the wind wall when they actually didn't.
Mhm. Hey, after this, you guys want to go do a raid?
No. I want to go eat some pizza.
it's actually funny. Like, remembering back, because at the very start of this podcast, we talked about connection problems with Ewings and stuff. Like that.
Yeah.
My ranger, actually, not myself, but the guy who played ranger, he was running on the Mac client, and that is the worst piece of garbage you will ever encounter. He was constantly like between every attempt, if he didn't DC, he had to restart the client. It was just like that. So we had to wait for him every single time, just like, oh my god. And if he didn't do it, he'd just immediately crash when he went in. It was bad.
That's his fault for buying a Mac.
Yeah, like, just buy something decent.
Ellie
Jeez.
giggles.
We didn't really talk about it, but what has the drops been like for everybody?
I've got
On the
complete
I
shit.
haven't gotten anything.
I
good.
got-
I'll tell you
no,
what
you-
though. Tell you what.
Hey.
Journert got ascended drop first time, and then because the reset just happened, went to Tequatl and got another ascended drop.
Wow.
Nice.
Nice.
I
got
And
an exotic.
the mini, the Veil Guardian mini as well.
Yeah.
I got an exotic and a rare the first time, and then an exotic and by the way, these are exotic like pants, so they
Yeah.
were 90 silver.
Yep.
And then an exotic and a energy crystal the second time.
Yeah,
So
you
I-
always the energy crystal is guaranteed on your second kill.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. And then
I've been lucky.
an exotic.
I got the Veil Guardian the first time we killed him, the mini, and I got a one of the new defensive rings, ascended rings with the minstrel stats and whatever on it.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
drop.
I don't have a use for that,
I've
but
got
that's
fuck
okay.
all.
You know.
basically.
So the
I've
drops are pretty
only
good. then.
only on the drops are really good. They are. A lot of my guildies
Except
are
not
getting
for me.
really cool stuff. On the first Gorseval kill, I was the only one who got the mini, and that's basically all I've gotten. And the second Gorseval kill, we had 3 guys who got it. So
Wow.
Mm.
I've never
Lucky
gotten
bastard.
anything better than exotic on any of the world bosses either.
Yeah.
I've like the best thing I've ever gotten was like a 2 gold exotic from Tequatl, from the Triple Trouble Worm, from anything. I have had the worst drop luck in Guild Wars 2 history. It's really bad.
Yeah, but how often do you kill those guys?
I used to do it every week.
Yep.
Oh, okay, fair enough. The worm I was pretty lucky with, not in the last year, but when we first started killing the worm, I got 2 of the pieces within 7 months.
Huh.
I haven't seen anything since then. And Tequatl, I've been killing him since day 1, quite literally, and I've never seen a horde drop from him ever.
Ah.
Yep. Same.
I've
Never
got a
ever.
horde.
I got one.
I've got
I
one.
just
yeah.
I just quit doing it when Heart of Thorns came out because
Yeah,
there's just no
same.
point.
Yeah, I gave up on Tequatl when Heart of Thorns came out. I really haven't done Worm either since
Yeah.
HNC came
I
out.
just I don't care about it.
Well, speaking of something a little bit more relevant than the worm, the raid. It's actually something like the raid, just liquid gold reward scaling, and the XP. The Call of the Mist is implemented right now for the duration of the first Wings launch, and the drops like the loot, or not the loot is fine. The gold, the raw gold, is still abysmal.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
12
it's-
gold.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
12 gold a week. And
However-
once the next wing is out, that's gonna get halved.
Is it
Yeah.
really 12 gold?
But it'll stay the same kind of because you'll beat the
Or
the
per
second-
boss.
Yeah, but you'll beat the second wing as well, so it will kind of be the same if you can beat the whole wing. But yeah, you don't get
Alright.
anything. You're gonna spend more on food, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yes,
I've spent
way
like
more.
50 gold on food at
Yeah,
least.
Yeah.
exactly.
Immense amounts of gold just on that.
Mm,
Yeah,
And
the
it's
liquid
getting
rewards have been pretty bad.
yeah.
I on Reddit, I noticed Perry, he put up a very good suggestion actually. If you just like reset the daily cap for the gold reward that you can get from the bosses.
Ah,
That's all right.
Yeah.
Especially if you put it. I always found that when they implemented the Aether path for Twilight Arbor, they really fell short because they had a very very long thing and they had double the rewards and that was all good. But when they removed that,
I don't even want to talk
Like,
about Aether
completely
Path.
Brazil's
lost
face.
the work. There was
I
nothing.
don't
left.
want to talk
There's
about
nothing
Aether
left.
Path.
Like,
Just
eyes
shut
got
up,
this big.
please. Just shut up. Shut up.
Oh yeah. Are we gonna hear this story again now? The funny
Am I gonna?
story.
Yeah.
I do
So Aether
Bring back,
Path,
guys. Bring
Aether
back.
Path came out, and I was like, yeah, I'll do Aether Path. I'll give it a try. So the first time I go in to do Aether Path, the first time ever, like on the day it came out, I get a fucking Aether Path rifle skin. I thought, that's pretty cool. You get a skin every time you do this path. And I sold it for like 15 gold or something. Whoops.
How did that make you feel, Brazil?
Great.
Looking back on it now, would you do anything differently?
Yeah. I wouldn't do Aether Path.
You wouldn't have done it, but then
You wouldn't do
I just wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
So for raids, what is the solution for raids? To let you do it daily, 12 gold a day.
Yeah, the gold rewards daily. That'd be
The
pretty
thing
good.
is, right now, with all the meta event chains and all that, they're trying to push the gold standard. The problem is that the gold standard is still very prominent in every single fucking collection in the game, and that is what the major problem is. Because when you have event chains that take hours and hours on end, full days, weeks to complete, and you get 0 gold for it, you're fucked. You are. Like, that's the bottom line. And there's no other redemption. They've removed it from dungeons. There's nothing to gain from that. Literally, you can like fractals. You might come off on a like 0 if you're lucky, but
Might
you'll
break
have the
even.
experience. Like, it's a really, really cool thought that they're trying to push this thought into the map specific currency. It's a cool concept. It just doesn't work when they're trying to push gold so much. I don't know if they're trying to deflate the currency in a very, very insane way right now, or what the hell they're trying to do, because it's really annoying being used to just having some sort of income to going to have nothing.
Well, I can
Literally
understand
nothing.
because if you have, I mean, they released the game as free to play, right? They probably had a huge influx of players. I forget, for the free to players, do they what do they get in the way of able to sell stuff on the trading post?
I don't know.
It's restricted.
Yeah.
I don't
Can
exactly
they
know
only
what the
buy?
restrictions are. I want to say they can sell some things, but there is a restriction as to what you can buy and sell.
Either way, I mean, and I'm sure a lot of them also bought HOT. The point is, there are a lot more players now. Not probably not an extraordinary amount more, but there's a lot more players now than there were before the free to play and before HOT. So I could see why they might want to start lowering the liquid gold, lowering the amount you could get reward wise, because otherwise, with all these new players, the market would be flooded with a lot more stuff. You know, there would be inflation, basically. There would be a lot of
Yes.
inflation.
I completely see that, but still, I don't know.
I think there's a bit of a
I think-
problem with how.
I think the discrepancy that I'm most annoyed with is actually the legendary weapons, like, because it's all right, like it's all right, but there's so much gold tied to it. Some of them are just completely insane. And then we look at maybe my vision is warped a little bit on this, but if you look at the legendary back piece for fractals, and if you look at the legendary armor, those collections are, I don't know if we're just on the lower tier and we just haven't hit that wall of gold yet, but it seems to be a lot better implemented. Take the legendary armor, the envoy armor. The first tier is literally you just have to kill the bosses. And you have to complete the content in there. You get the flame core from killing Sabbatha. You get the spirit threads from killing Gorsival. You got to do at least 5 of those. 5 kills on Gorsival. You got to succeed. You have to, and I don't know if this is a bug, so I just probably shouldn't mention it, but you have to at least interact with the chat Garant.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to kill it. And you have to find the chest, and one of the chests is actually linked to an achievement, and that achievement is quite hard to get as well. Like, if you do it consistently every week, you have to
Right.
get so and so many, and you still have to get lucky. It's
And
all
those are
tied to
RNG.
the gameplay. Yes, it's all tied to the gameplay, and it's hard content. It's a really, really good way to do it. And we see right now we have the first 6 things available because of the first wing, and we're left with 12. So the next 2 wings would whatever. It'll all tie in. So the first tier for the experimental armor, as it says on the box, should at least just be the gameplay. Problem is what comes after. And that's what we've seen with the legendary weapons and such. What comes after is just a massive wall of gold. There's nothing else. And what prestige is there in that? Because you can't actually play the content that's just been implemented with Heart of Thorns because it just gives you some tokens here and there, and maybe you get lucky and you get a I don't know, light ward battle staff, and you can sell that for 400 gold if you're lucky, but that doesn't happen. I've gone through 500 of those chests and I haven't seen a fucking staff. Like, there's literally nothing that you can do in Heart of Thorns to get that. You have to go back to the original game, and the original game still doesn't really have anything because it's all been nerfed. Yeah, Silver Waste. This is where Silver Waste comes in. And
Really,
it blows my mind that
money.
they have to have Silver Waste be on that level. Like, why?
And
Why?
really, that's just money shuffling.
Yes.
You're just getting materials to sell to other people to get money from them. It's not creating anything. It's just shuffle money.
I have a solution to all of this. Just by the way,
Go for
you
it.
just like do what I do and just not give a shit about anything. I don't have a problem with legendary armor, or legendary collections, because I just don't care about them. Whatever.
How do you
that
feel
easy.
rewarded then, though?
I don't just stand in Divinity's Reach and talk to people in guild chat. That's all I do. Or like I go raid for a while.
raid,
Like
yeah.
I'm not. It doesn't take a lot to entertain me. Like I can just sit and stare at a wall and think about stuff for 18 hours, and I'm fine. Like whatever. I'm more entertained by just thinking about stuff.
You hear that,
than I am-
ArenaNet? You can
Yeah.
sell Brazil a wall for 800 gold that he can stare at.
That's correct.
But do you know what kind of want you need the
I mean, you
completion?
can probably build that in the guild hall, by the way.
You need you need.
except it'll cost you 5,000 just to level it.
You'll never
Yeah.
get that. You'll never get that with Scribe. Not
Oh
gonna
my
happen.
gosh.
I know. I kind of want all the legendaries eventually, so you can go. Oh, I never have to craft another set ever again. I can just select stats on this one and then waste all my money on runes. I'll be so happy.
To be fair, I don't even give a flying fuck about the legendary weapons. Like, though they're already a part of the economy, you can get them otherwise and blah blah blah. It's not like I've been actively striving to get them beforehand, so why would I do it now except for like the added achievement points or the journey? It's more the legendary back piece and the armor, the new pieces that actually can make a difference, I think, in the way that they're, because the thing is they wanted, when they implemented these collections, they wanted the weapons to be tied to the gold that they were already tied to. Like, they made them sellable to begin with, so of course they had to be tied to some sort of gold sync. There was no way around it. But we don't have that for the legendary back piece and armor. It's completely new. They can actually go a new way. And so far, the only thing that we've seen with gold that you need for the legendary back piece, just to put it as an example, is that you actually have to have the fractal capacitor, not fully geared, but like one step below to get everything. And I may be warped in this. I don't remember how much how much material you actually need, but it's not a whole lot more than what, 200 gold? Maybe. If I don't know, I have 7 of those back pieces. I have no idea.
Wow.
It's crafted a long time ago. So I mean, I hope for dear life. This is one of the reasons why I hope it's tied to the leaderboards, is because that's a way to progress beyond that gold standard. It's a way. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's something else. And I really want that to happen.
I think I'd agree with that statement, actually, because right now it's with the legendaries and basically everything in the games as well. This guy might have worked hard, farmed things, or he whipped out his credit card and bought the legendary for his money. He worked a few hours overtime.
Well,
Just went
the
ahead
new
and
ones
bought
aren't.
it.
In some ways, the new ones aren't that different, right? Because there's time barriers, there's time gates to those new ones, the new precursors anyway, when they work. But you can bypass that with gold, right? Like if you, I don't know if you.
And
need
that's a
X
faulty
number.
implementation, in my opinion. But yeah,
Right.
yeah. Sorry to interrupt.
So I mean, you're not straight up buying the precursor from the trading post anymore. You're actually paying more gold, but you're still bypassing it because you can bypass the time gate from other players' sold materials.
Yeah.
So you can still buy it, sort of, in a roundabout way.
It
It does require some work from the player now, rather than straight up buying. But yeah,
I'm not a fan of time gating at all. Like, I'd rather just be able to go do something and just do it instead of like just taking like days to do it for no real reason other than just time gate.
I can see where you're coming from with this. To me, it just shows, I don't know, persistence in a way. Like you've been there every day for say 6 weeks. All right, you get this early on, or you can just take it gradually and get it done. It just shows persistence, but I can definitely see where you're coming from. It's not, time gating is not the best way.
what I really want to see is, like, Deroir got Eternal, the title. I would like part of the Legendary, and maybe not Eternal exactly, but I would like that to be one of the goals of one of these things. Legendary Armor, for example. You have to get Eternal in order to get it, or something like that. Rift had I think WoW does this as well, but I might be wrong on WoW. But Rift definitely had a thing where if you did whatever the raid was, you did the raid, you did all of the achievements, you got a special mount that only those people could get if you did all of the achievements. And I really wish that more legendary pieces were tied to things like that, rather than I need 50 of this daily material I need to craft or something like that.
I mean, in a perfect world, that would be amazing. We might actually, and that would be really interesting if we see like some of the next tier, like to unlock the next tier of the envoy armor after you've completed all three wings. To unlock that, you have to have one or all three of the titles, because there's probably going to be a title for the next wing and the next wing again. I mean, apparently Eternal isn't enough. You have to be Eternal or
More Eternal.
But yeah.
Well, do you think there should be the perfect run achievement? Because now, I mean, I did kind of think that the way Eternal was going to work, I think we touched on this briefly earlier, is that you have to do it all in a row without dying at all. Do you think there should be a perfect, Eternal,
Yes.
we're not kidding this time, achievement?
Personally, I am all up for anything that just says challenge. I'm a big fan of it. I would love it to be implemented. It would be hard as shit to get, and I would love it. I don't necessarily say that I would get it. Like I'm not in a, I don't know, disillusioned state where I'm just gonna spew anything. Like yeah, but I would love it to be a part of the game, because that distinguishes the players that can actually do it.
Yeah,
And I want them to have that feeling. I want players who are on that level to have that feeling of accomplishment, if they want to.
When I first seen people getting the Eternal titles, I thought that's how it worked. You had to do all three bosses, the events, whatever, without dying a single time through the entire stretch of the raid. I didn't realize it was like, okay, we beat Veil Guardian, checkbox, you didn't die. Okay, you beat Gorseville, checkbox, okay, great. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't realize it was piecemeal instead of like one long run of nobody dying on anything ever, anywhere.
I mean, I see your point, and I would appreciate both of them actually being a thing, because I still think that the Eternal title, that just with the check marks, it still leaves open the possibility for less skilled players to also get it. But of course, it would be amazing to have that top 1% actually get.
I think there's room for both of those types of achievements in the raid itself, you know.
Definitely.
Give one title for the checkbox as you go along, and a different title for one solid run, no deaths. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think we may have exhausted raids. Unless anyone else has any comments on raids?
Raids have
Please
exhausted
make
me.
it good. Please let it stay good.
Stay good.
Yeah.
Someone is down. Probably Jonut. Yeah. We had
So good.
Boots, you know about this, don't you? But
Yeah, Plenix. Plenix was in our raid with Teapot, and he made macros for not the game, for like his speech command or something like that. So you just have to press a button and it would say green guys, or press a button and say blue guys, and then for resing, it's someone is down, probably Journey, because I think in that that guy died so many times.
Too funny.
But it was really impressive though, because he was
playing
he was
and
doing
getting
it
it
for
and
all of
pressing all
them.
the buttons. Yeah, it was
He
really.
was playing, doing green,
Yeah.
blue, and someone down the whole time. It was very impressive.
And the break bar as well.
It was everywhere.
It was everywhere. Wait, what is this? Oh, we got a long post. Tempest Healer is
Yeah, no,
probably
me-
useful as well. But I spent 900 gold on Ventari.
Yeah, sucks to
Rim.
be that guy.
Yeah,
Shit,
yeah.
don't
Rim
waste your
is
money
he's
on
Rim is
Nomad's gear.
incredibly. He's massively PJ Salt and Baby Rage about this.
Oh, you should be, mate.
What
you
is
should.
what is
Jeez.
Ventari? Is that Nomads?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, Nomads is
Send it-
good.
Send it Nomads.
It's
What,
good.
what's the matter? What's the matter? What is he salty about?
It's not useful for anything.
It's
man.
absolutely useful for
Oh.
fucking
You can
Druid
get
tank
better
healer.
stuff. That's the thing.
No, Druid tank healer that never dies and just heals
Oh.
people. It's perfect
Rim,
for
that's
that.
your 900 gold right there. Fire it away.
But I think
Druid
he's,
tank
talking.
healer.
He's
Rest of
talking
your
about.
days.
I think he's talking about his Revenant though.
Yeah, if you were gonna put that
Oh,
on a
wait,
Revenant,
what?
yeah, that's stupid.
Oh, that's no.
That's really dumb.
I
You
think
only
he's-
want to play that on
Yeah.
on.
I'm not totally
on
sure.
Druid.
I think he's referring to his Revenant. He may confirm this in chat at some point.
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Ventari
Rim
healer.
69
Rim likes.
is
He likes
Rim
Ventari
Healing
healer.
healing Revenant is almost as bad. It's probably as bad as Condi Revenant, maybe worse, honestly. Like Revenant can like kind of do everything, but it's like really bad at everything other than damage.
Yeah, it's his Revenant. Yeah. No, he had Nomad Revenant.
Oh, that
That's
sucks to be
stupid.
you, mate. That's really, really stupid to. Oh God, no man's gear. I actually, and I feel a little bit bad about that. I actually had
I
to go
don't.
at no, but like something. It's a story. I'm about to tell a story.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
story
story,
time with
okay.
Deroir.
Yay! I feel a little bit bad. I had a go at a guy who I thought was joking about making Ascended Minstrel's gear for his Revenant, and I was like, dude, that is the fucking thing you could ever do. Like, and he was dead serious apparently. Felt so bad. I
No.
felt so. I'm sorry if you're out there. Didn't mean to be
Brazil.
mean.
Yeah,
Brazil, I have a question. You know stuff about like necromancers, right?
sure.
What does dagger auto attack do more damage than Reaper auto attack?
The Shroud?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and Reaper all the other stuff too?
Below 50%, you want to be
just
doing
press
Gravedigger. Above, you want to be
Good
using
stuff.
Dagger.
Interesting.
The Shroud build is not really for raids. It's
Hmm.
like, it's for doing stuff out in the open world where you're dependent on yourself. But like in raids, you want to be using like Blood Magic, Spite, and Reaper, and you want to play Dagger, Warhorn, and Greatsword.
Blood Magic is good. I like
Blood Magic's pretty good.
I love
yeah.
blood magic.
What's so good about blood magic?
I love it.
Welts,
How much DPS
Mainly
do you
the
think
Welch
it
rate.
adds?
I don't even play Reaper that
overall?
often, and I love it.
DPS from the lifesteal?
Yeah,
Not very much.
It's so low.
but a little bit.
It's no, it's
Yeah.
and it doesn't change. It doesn't scale with might. Doesn't
it,
scale
it
with
does.
anything.
It scales with power. It absolutely.
It scales with power, yeah, by like 1 HP for 100 power. Yeah,
Just play Revenant.
Yeah.
yeah.
Switch.
No, but I made a Reaper tank build, which that's the thing though, because I was talking with Teapot. He has a Reaper tank that's very good.
Yeah.
And I made a Reaper tank build that doesn't use blood magic, uses death magic instead. And in Shroud you have higher power, and you would have a more powerful build when you're in Shroud. Except I wanted to know exactly what the difference is between the dagger and Reaper Shroud attack, because even though you have more stats in Shroud, I don't know if it's actually more damage.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
I think
Okay.
I don't know. Just from experience, I find I'm better off with Condi Reaper as tank anyway, Because otherwise, especially on the Veil Guardian, because if you stick right next to him and melee him with the dagger, it's really hard to make it move fast enough, because it always, when you move away, it takes about 10 seconds for him to actually realize you've moved and follow you.
I have not. I don't know. What is True Blood? Is that a movie?
The vampire TV show.
Oh.
Ugh.
Yes, I'm a big fan. I love it.
It's confirmed. Oh my god. The thunderous keyboard of Boots.
Sorry.
makes its
It's
return.
not as bad
Keyboard.
as mine. Mine's way worse.
Yeah. I tell you, man, Apple keyboards, it's the future.
No!
Yes.
It's not!
Yes.
Stop!
Yes. Yes.
Somebody was asking me
No.
if my keyboard is mechanical. I guess because I really hammer the hell out of it. I have heavy hands, I guess. I'm like, nope, it's not mechanical. If it was mechanical, imagine how loud it would be.
It'd be like me.
Yeah.
Like,
Nice.
Wow.
And I have one of those bad habits where even though one is my auto attack, even though it's auto attack, I still press it. I can't help it.
Just hammer it.
Always.
I don't
put
I
it
don't
on the
need
side
to
of your
yell.
mouse.
It makes you do more. It makes you do more DPS. It's confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten, I don't know, like, I can basically AFK Sabbatha at this point. Like, I was playing the other day with my hands completely off of the keyboard. It's pretty funny.
Just auto attack with Revenant, huh?
Yeah, I just, like, I stand inside of her hitbox to bait out the bomb, the time bomb, and then whenever I get the time bomb, I go forward, let it explode, and dodge backwards, and then I can just take my hands off the keyboard, and then whenever her flamethrower comes out, I step to the left of it, let it go around, and then step to the right a little bit. And it's just like, it's so mindless. Like, the only time I ever have to do anything is whenever I go up to kill a cannon. It's
Is it gonna be
pretty good.
Is it going to be the
Have you
10?
Have you killed it yet?
What?
Have you killed it yet?
We've gotten it to 5% very consistently.
Oh, it's probably because of your bad rotation then.
That's the perfect rotation. My DPS is fine the whole fight. It's not my
You should update that video and put the rotation up.
What rotation? It's just
One
auto
press.
attack. There's no rotation.
not,
It's just auto
mate.
attack.
No, it's not. You can do so much better
This-
than just auto attack. That's the
this is-
thing.
So
This is what
anyone-
I'm talking about.
Guys,
let's
this
think
is
about
interesting.
this.
Guys,
This is
chat here.
interesting.
Anyone who says that you should just auto attack on Revenant has it completely wrong. There's so much other stuff
You
in your
keep up
utilities that you can use.
The two outside facets, you keep those up. You keep up Facet of Nature for your Chronomancer, and you let your energy drain. And then when it comes back up, you put your facets on. Like
let it drain to where?
to
Totally
zero.
out?
Yeah.
To
And then
zero,
you just
and then
put
you
your
switch
facets
to,
back.
Do you switch to Shiro?
We
to
have
Shiro.
50 seconds of quickness at all times. There's no
Oh,
point in
yeah,
switching to
okay.
Shiro.
Okay.
Except
Like,
for the
the
heal
only-
skill.
the
only
so
point-
the
life
heal
skill.
skill, that's a
Switching-
good 5,000 more damage.
If you didn't have
Lose
quickness,
your facets.
you should then switch to Shiro, right?
Okay.
The only
so-
time I switch to Shiro is to super speed to get the bomb.
Hmm.
That's really the only time you should do it.
Okay. So, what do you think is best then, Deroir? What do you do as Revenant differently?
I do a lot.
If you're doing anything else, you're playing Revenant
no.
wrong.
It's,
You absolutely are.
Oh!
it all
Sorry.
depends on the quickness uptime, but
yeah,
of course
if, if there's no
I
quickness,
usually
switch Legends off cooldown.
when we're in raids, I still usually pop off the Facet of Nature and switch to Shiro,
Yeah.
pop the healing skill. Depending on the uptime of quickness, I let that run out or just not have it up. Then as soon as the glint comes back on, I pop that in because the facet should always be on, and the boons should always be up if both Revenants are running the Facet of Nature. So we're in tandem in that regard. So you can have the facets down, you can have that extra DPS. So I mean,
Look,
Still
though,
switch
Deroir,
back.
I don't know if I trust your word because you were using
unrelenting assault. Don't even call it.
Jesus.
It was for
So-
safety, mate. It was for safety.
Yeah.
No,
It was at that third phase. I don't know if you've seen it. The third phase where there's just a shit ton of stuff falling everywhere, and I was like, I could really need 2 seconds to just like scan the area. I'm gonna pop Unrelenting Assault, and I pop it, and I'm like, I sit back for a second, I'm looking at it, and then the flame wall goes up, and I'm like, no. And like that was
I
just it.
shouldn't have been bad at Revenant. It would have saved my life.
Ooh. Ouch.
Hey, but what about for Veil Guardian, for
Shots,
example? That
damn.
Veil Guardian and Gorseval, that DPS loss on dodging the teleports in the attack. Maybe you use something else. Maybe you
put
use a
Veil
block.
Guardian in a corner, and when the blue circles come up, you dodge into the corner, and then you just go back to auto attacking.
I mean, that's great
Because-
for a warrior with reckless dodge.
Well,
but
if
The
you,
time that it takes to cast Unrelenting Assault, the time where you get up and go like that before it actually starts casting, that's literally a dodge roll.
yeah,
like,
it is.
You just auto attack,
The
literally.
other thing too is if you have Veil Guardian in a corner, your Unrelenting Assault will interrupt itself as soon as you hit one of the walls or something. It'll cut itself off halfway through.
Berserker's the best for that, though. Warrior. You just use your whirling attack. It's on the same cooldown as the freaking teleport. It's great.
Also, I've been playing it wrong because I pop all 3 of the facets. But anyway,
The swiftness facet is good in some situations. Like, it's kind of helpful at Gorseval because you move it around. But, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't really see a lot of disagreement here, actually. I mean,
what
There's
about
not much.
what
It
about
was
using
more
Sword
on the-
2 and Gorseval?
You
Stepping
sword,
inside his
on Gorseval.
stepping inside his box. No?
if there are other targets outside of him, then you can. But it's also an energy cost. So you're limiting your energy pool for your facets.
Rim thinks he's a good Revenant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps going
No.
on about that.
So let me tell you something about that swiftness facet, because whenever you cast it for damage, there's a cast time, and you could
Right.
honestly be auto-attacking. Like, it's auto-attacking is better than that. I'm sorry, but it is.
I guess the way I was using it, obviously incorrectly, was I was using that facet. I was dropping it when the blue comes down and I need to dodge through it or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, but it seems you can just do a dodge roll and then press 1 a few more times. Yeah.
I can upload some, like, seriously try-hard Revenant gameplay, like switching legends off cooldown, like exploding the facet of nature for an extra boon, so you do 2% more damage. Like,
I don't know.
you can
I
go
like that stuff.
you can go really hard with Revenant, but you're
don't have
also not maximizing your Chronomancer's quickness duration if you do
offhand axe.
that. Here we go.
Axe 4 is not so bad
Here we
damage-wise.
go. It's not. But whenever you lose out on that sword pool, uh-oh.
On the sword pool?
Sword pool's really helpful, but in
yeah,
cheat
sure.
world, the offhand axe is better.
Where is the sword pool helpful?
For grouping up bandit thugs that kick you into the flame wall at Sabbatha, for pulling in angered spirits who just sit back on their ass and
For pulling in seekers?
yeah, you
I
can pull
personally
seekers
find
like
it easier to just have a
Pull 'em
decent
in.
chrono, I guess.
The thing about having a decent chrono is that the pool only works like 50% of the time. Like, the pools just absolutely don't work all the time on the mobs. So
Yeah.
if a pool fails, like, if you have a backup pool, that's awesome.
Have you used offhand axe, though? How much does that final strike damage do? Because on the wiki, your auto attacks are 275 to 300 base, and then the offhand axe attack is 800 something.
Yeah.
Which
Like, I
attack?
still wouldn't even use offhand axe.
Axe
'cause it
Axe
burns
4,
energy.
Frigid Bliss. Hurl your axe at the target, damaging and chilling them. Large attack when you shadow step to it. And it's a half a second. If you're right next to the thing,
I was
It'll go
using
fast.
it. I was using it on Veil Guardian when we first engage him. As soon as somebody hits him, I was using the axe to get on him, and then I was using Sword 3 to follow him to wherever the tank takes him.
yeah. But I'm thinking if
But-
you're right up next to them because you're auto attacking him, the axe doesn't take too long to travel there. So it'll be a quick attack, and it's 3 times the size of your normal auto attack. So it might be a DPS increase. I don't know. I haven't really played Revenant that much.
I really don't use Axe that often. I got to be honest.
It's good in spreadsheet world,
Okay.
I don't know, I usually
but
just see it as a
spreadsheet
loss of
world
energy.
does not account for repositioning mobs that are going to harm you if they don't die.
hmm
So
But it's also an interesting gap closer instead of unrelenting assault.
yeah,
Remember when you were fighting Gorseval and you used Sword 5 to pull in that mob to prevent DPS loss, and you said offhand sword is bad? I love
yeah,
that.
that was spreadsheet world sarcasm.
Okay. I guess that's kind of it on raids. Again, for the second time. Then we just talked about
There's a
everything
lot to
else.
talk about with
Yeah.
raids.
It
I mean,
is.
Yeah.
I want to go talk about the pepperoni pizza that I need to eat. Holy shit!
Why do you like? Is that your favorite kind of pizza, or is it
No,
just
but
pizza
that's all I
all?
have left. So I have to eat it.
What is your
Wow.
favorite kind of pizza, Brazil?
Barbecue chicken.
Oh, that's a good
What?
choice actually.
What do you mean what? Oh
Never
yeah, I
thought
forgot
that.
they don't have that in shitty
We-
Europe.
yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
We do.
It's like
Wow.
have
What are
you
standard
talking about?
plain shit everywhere. Like
There's a
What?
place. There's a
Do you
place
have-
near me
do
that
you
makes a
have
butter chicken.
it's like you
Marijuana
put just
pizza
everything
in
on pizza, just like because we can.
We only have whale blubber pizza up here.
They call it the,
Oh,
they call it
God.
the club and special.
Oh, that's seals. And that's not nice, thanks.
God.
That's terrible. Imagine a
Snort.
whale clubbing as an activity. Like that would be like very difficult, I find. Swim up to whales.
It's too
We're
late.
banked
We
here,
already have that one as a gift, Brazil. It's
I know.
fine.
Yeah.
You have become the living meme.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Should we briefly comment on PvP leagues? Who cares about PvP leagues?
Fuck PvP.
Okay.
Fuck
It's
it.
fun.
Give me my back piece.
Yeah, Inks loves PvP.
Well, I'm even more casual than I am in PvE, but whatever.
I think it's good, and it's a bit like the Hearthstone system, isn't it? So you can
I have
you
I'm
rank
good.
up. You're a good Hearthstone player.
No, I have a good PvP story.
Okay, tell us a PvP
It's about
story.
every time I farm ostrich eggs whenever I matched up against him, and he has to exploit pull me into terrain with magnet pull because he can't 1v1 me. Shots fired, but you know.
Oh, snap.
Okay.
I don't know, I think it's good that it's coming.
Yeah.
It creates that publicity and all that, and we want more people to watch and come into our game and stuff
Yeah.
like that. In that regard, I completely respect it, and I'm looking much forward to watching it and following it. But
Me too. I can't wait for the next week in the Pro League too, because it'll be a lot more interesting than the last week where it was like 500 to 50, 500 to 50, 500 to 50 each time.
Will it be more interesting?
I think so. I think so because now that it'll be the topper
used to it?
teams,
Oh,
the
I
better
see.
teams.
I see. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
It was an honest question. I don't know. I didn't watch the 500 to 50 because, well, you know,
Yeah,
not,
no,
not
it'll
so
be good.
entertaining.
Inks don't care. Yeah.
It's not that I don't care. It's just that 500 to 50 is not entertaining. I'm
I
sorry.
get like the same enjoyment of like watching like PvP tournaments as I do from like watching sports games. It's just like whatever. Like I can watch this and practice Yu-Gi-Oh! Solitaire at the same time, and that's all it is to me. It's not that interesting.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think it's like dumb or whatever. Like people obviously like it. It's just I don't find it that interesting.
It's not
mean,
like
that's fair.
dungeon challenges and
I don't find that
Fractal
interesting
raises.
either.
Nope.
Like I don't know.
I do.
Oh, okay.
I think what's interesting about this system is that well, actually, it's basically the same as the last system, if I understand this correctly. It basically promotes grinding out as many games as possible, because even if you have 51% win rate, you'll still get to the top eventually, because you get 2 for a win, 2 little pip things for a win, and you lose, and you lose 1 for losing. And sometimes, even if you lose, you don't actually lose 1. Okay, because
Well, early on.
say if
right?
you're
because
against,
you hit a marker.
if you're against a team that's more skilled than you are, if you just get a certain amount of points, you will still either not lose or gain something. So if
Shouldn't you only get? Maybe I'm wrong, but shouldn't you only get 2 pips if you've won like a couple of times in a row or something? Maybe that's not how it works, but wouldn't that be better? I don't know.
I don't know if that's the case.
I can't take the autism, have fun PvE queens.
What?
Nice. Who is
I
this
don't know.
guy?
I don't know what that even means.
Is this guy being serious?
He's probably a big PvP fan. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I wanna.
Hey,
you know what I really want to
That's
do?
fine.
I mean,
I want to
yeah.
find a good build finally. I mean, I've been.
An actual.
oh wow, you gotta
build,
change your series
or-
then.
No, I like my Chronomancer Resi build, so I might try that in PvP. But I mean, for Warrior, I've been trying so hard with Berserker. It's not working. It's not working. It's
If
really
you
bad.
just like go up one and like boots decent builds, and then like move your way up to good or awesome.
No, that's never gonna happen. But no, yes, freaking Warrior is just like, it's frustrating right now to be a Warrior. I tried making this stupid stun break build where you get 5,000 something health every time you stun break, which is nice because you can stun break yourself and heal yourself for a ton. And it could be Condi based, so you could do your distracting strikes and all that stuff too, and do a ton of Condi damage with the mace. But people just kill you so fast in it nowadays. It's like even if you stun break for 5,000 health, that's gone in a second anyway.
Yeah.
The problem with Warrior is that it only has like 1 or 2 real mitigation skills, like block and evade, and then after that, you're screwed. Unlike Chronomancer,
But
who
that's
could
with
do-
everyone. Yeah, except Chronomancer. Chronomancer is just stupid.
There's invulnerability through everything, evade everything.
Yeah, same thing with Revenant. Revenant too.
Hmm.
Revenant loses to Condi builds.
I
Beautiful class.
What, Revenant?
Oh yeah.
Art. Just
I
like
like it.
art. Beautiful.
Just like art.
I want to keep
And-
playing Reaper now, but I can't.
And Reaper, yeah, the Reaper it doesn't have the evasion or the blocking skills, but they're just
Yeah.
like pure meat sacks. They just do damage. They have so much damage reduction. They have
It's
so
like
much
fighting
health.
a fractal boss.
Exactly. It's exactly like that.
Okay.
Condi Revenant has permanent resistance. That's actually pretty funny.
It also doesn't do any damage, so that's cool.
But if you have permanent resistance, you only take physical damage. Ah.
Ah.
Ah. Malik's Revenant is pretty good versus Condi builds,
I mean, yeah.
I guess.
Better than Diamond Skin, I guess.
Exodia decks are good against people that don't know how to play.
Whoa.
Okay.
That's why you...
Shots fired at a completely different community.
The one Yu-Gi-Oh fan in chat that always hoped for Brazil to talk about it is going, oh!
Yu-Gi-Oh talk.
Yeah, I'm like, whenever I get into PvP, which is like once a year, I'll play for like several months straight. Like I get really good at it. And then I just I just lose interest in it.
The burnout.
Yeah, basically. I don't know. What's this? Why did I just I don't like this. I just clicked on a
Yeah,
link
me
and it
neither.
immediately fucking downloaded some strange file type.
Oh, done. Why did you click on the
I wouldn't
link?
open it if I used it.
Gonna-
That was a
ooh.
bot spamming it. Did you
It's
open it?
a screensaver. I'm deleting it.
Yeah.
Was that actually a bot?
Yes. Yeah. These bots come in and they spam
Live
things.
blitzers.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What did
Shit.
it do? Did
It
do
gave
anything?
me a screensaver file that I'm absolutely not going to open
I think you should open it for science. And you can
because
tell us
Yeah,
the result.
saver viruses are like fucking from like the 90s and I know about those.
How bad could it be? Try it out.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
View bots are allowed. Link bots not allowed. Yeah. Snow's got it right. It's all true. Do we have anything else to talk about? Not really, I guess.
Not really.
We could talk about computer security and how I got expelled from high school because of it.
Because are you a hacker? You're
No.
not as good as a hacker as Boots though, because he was a hacker man. He had to go into hardcore hacking mode.
That's right. That's right.
It's a great. How are you gonna top that next year?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna top that next year.
No?
I think that was my apex. That was my climax.
You should just
again.
go as that every year. Just never change it.
I still have the costume. It's in my closet somewhere. Maybe I will.
There is a hilarious YouTube series waiting to be created with that costume out in public, just on an everyday basis.
Yeah,
The life and
I could do
times
that.
of Hacker Man.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I'd probably get sued though or something. Something like that.
Jeez.
Oh. Okay,
So you wanna
All
let's go
right.
do a raid?
No.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Boots is up for getting carried.
Hey, I do 35k DPS on my warrior. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
35K.
Oh my damn.
35k DPS.
We
right.
should
80k
ramp
100
things
blades
up.
go.
Okay.
The warrior has to go, and I'm
Yes,
hungry.
I am conscious of that, and that is
Okay.
the reason why we should wrap this up now.
Okay,
Done.
goodbye.
Yep, there we go.
See you
Stream's
next
over.
week.
See ya.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe.
Goodbye. But no, but seriously,
We have another bot, I'm
Deroir is the esteemed guest, so perhaps you would like to go first and tell us who you are, what you do.
I mean, if you sat through 2 hours of us talking, I'm Deroir. You should know my name, I guess. The name is in right below my face. Anyways, you can find me on YouTube, Deroir Gaming, and Twitch, Deroir Gaming, and Twitter if that's what you're into. If you're a narcissist like that, then yeah, Deroir Gaming.
Easy,
That's me.
You should go
simple.
follow him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's find out who Brazil's gonna roleplay as. This
I'm not
week.
gonna roleplay as anyone.
Oh.
I'm just gonna say I'm Brazil. That's basically it. But what you guys should do is I have this really cute little thing called. I may have to lower it down.
Yep, yeah,
because
that's about
you
right.
Fucking obliterated my webcam. It's called Polly the Pig. It's a little 3D printed cute little figure. And if you're interested in those and helping Josh Foreman's son further his art exploration, which you should be, because Josh Foreman is a great designer at ArenaNet, you can purchase a Polly the Pig or another thing called Jazz Hands at that website. I bought one because it's awesome. Yeah.
How much did you pay you for that endorsement? I'm just kidding.
You didn't.
1 gold.
I just like Josh Foreman. I gave Josh Foreman an iPod.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a good guy.
Right, we continuing around the kind of weird L shape we've got going on here. It is Boots.
Who's the next one?
World
Oh,
of
okay.
Enders.
Hi, that's me. I'm World of Enders. You can find me at YouTube/World of Enders. And I do Twitter stuff, and I bring 35k DPS to raids. And call on me if you need a pug. That's about it. Bye.
Pugmaster extraordinaire.
Exactly.
35k DPS.
That's right. You want him in your raid, so call on Boots.
Yes,
Let's
there we
for-
go. We will endorse that. And at the pinnacle of the L is none other than MMO Inks.
Jesus God. Yeah. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, MMO Inks. Yeah, I'm gonna get back to making videos soon.
Yeah.
Kind of took a break, to be
We
honest.
miss you.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, we do.
Soon I'll be back, hopefully.
R.I.P. Jeezy.
Okay.
Okay,
and we
finally
have Teapot,
Yeah.
which you're all here for already.
Hi guys, I'm
Magnificent and
Mighty
mighty
Teapot. If you're already watching the stream, you know how to follow me, so
Yeah.
just hit the follow button below.
There we go. I see you're doing my
good.
job for me.
Yeah.
Doing my job. I can't do your accent.
He has a
I'll figure
whole
it out eventually.
schedule of like every day of the week of all this different stuff that he does, which is way more than me. So you
That's-
should watch.
That's too much for me to even process.
You should just watch it all.
Yes, you should. This is my advertising.
Even Colin
stream. Wait,
Johansson
what?
says you should watch Mystic Builds. So
That is
do
actually
it.
true. This stream is officially endorsed by Colin at this point. So, I mean, if that isn't enough for you, I don't know what is. So yeah, I will now be dishonest and misrepresent Colin by saying that he wants you to press the follow button. So do it.
I love that disclaimer to begin with. I'll now be dishonest
Yeah,
and
you know.
completely sell out.
Yep, do it. Press the follow button and go on and unsubscribe to my YouTube as well. And
Unsubscribe from your YouTube as well?
no,
Apparently.
and well,
And
Oh, I couldn't. Yeah, it's just that European accent you have there. If you're American,
you
it
only
wouldn't be a
speak
problem.
American. Yeah.
American.
America.
Hmm.
I have Twitter as well, like everyone here. Follow
Yeah,
that
me
if you
too.
want. There you go. That's it, I guess. Goodbye,
Are you
everyone. Goodbye,
Really
everyone.
doing the PewDiePie thing?
Yeah, the
All right.
cringe fist. We have to
See
do
you
the
guys.
synchronized cringe fist. Okay. Here we
Bro
go.
fist. Oh my god.
Do it, Deroir. For real?
Do it. Bam.
Oh my god.
There you go.
Wow.
All right.
The cringe is real.
Oh, yeah.
Goodbye, everybody.